You are now tuned.
Good to have you on Live Knowledge by Omobola Stephen. On the show, we focus on topics that are centered on personal development and self-improvement, occasioning expert and professionals who have just the right disruptive yet constructive mind shift insight that is going to transform your life from where you are to where you need to be. Now, personal development and self-improvement is a lifelong process that you and I must embrace in order for us to move from where we are to where we need to be. And now it's really not just going to happen overnight. It's a constant effort that you and I need to put into in order for us to see our life move from where it is to where it necessarily have to be. And so that is just the focus and the mission of Laurel Omobola Stephen. We want to pivot the changes that you and I need in order for us to have a fulfilling life at the end of the day with personal development and self-improvement topics that is going to transform your life. Today, I will be talking about building online community, and I have an expert who is going to share more and talk more about what online community is about. Now we can build a successful one. I have Paul Gowder, who is the owner and founder of PoleWorlds.com, and that's the leading online community celebrating Native American arts and culture for the past 25 years. It's good to have you, Paul.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being, let me come on.
I've been looking forward to this time, and I'm glad that you're joining me, Paul. So, like I said earlier, we'll be talking about building online community. The first question on the mind of my audience is really, how is an online community, how is it different from a social network? Because at the end of the day, we are all building network.
Yeah, I think the first thing you have to start with when we talk about building community is really how, at least how I define community, and that is, for me, it's anybody who's in my sphere, my ecosystem. It's a group of people that feel some type of connection with each other, have some type of shared belief or shared culture, something like that. There's something in common, and they feel that connection to you or to each other. And so that's kind of how I treat it. And I think that a lot of online marketers and creators, they kind of miss that mark. They feel like platforms are community, like so social network is community. And maybe you can establish community on social network, but that isn't the community itself, right? So I like to tell people you need to have a community first mindset and treat everything you do as part of your community.
Now, let's move further from the towards that. Now, really, for a person or a business that wants to start a community of their own, how can they do that? Because you've had a wealth of knowledge and experience in this regard. And what do you think are the challenges that are out there, and how can they try successfully?
You have to, before you start wanting to build a community, right? You need to know a little bit about your audience. Who are you talking to? And sometimes who you think you're talking to and who is actually responding to your content is different. So I think that you need to start engaging whether it's you have email subscribers or people, following you on TikTok, whatever it is, you need to establish some kind of conversation with them and figure out what they want. What are their pain points? What are they coming to you for? Is it just that they find you relatable and they want to follow your journey? Or is it that you're actually delivering some type of valuable content that they want to take and learn from? Once you figure that out and kind of figure out what they're looking for, then you can start, then you start establishing community, right? Because then you can start serving their needs. And so the first step is really knowing who they are and what they're looking for. And then the second part is serving those needs. And then you can start figuring out, can I serve them with email marketing or a Facebook group or whatever it is? But first you have to figure out what it is they want.
Absolutely. Now, the way you sounded as if this is just going to happen overnight or it's going to happen suddenly. I know it's not going to do that, but Paul, really, going by your own experience, you combined community building and marketing strategies to build one of the largest and most engaged online communities in the world. Now, you do that also while working full time. Now, how on
Yeah.
earth do you do that, Paul? Does it mean that your business or your career is pumping money into the business? That's how it has been successful. How do you do that?
Yeah, I built Pals.com as a side job, a side project for 20 something years. I was fortunate enough. I have retired from my state government job now, and I'm able to do Pals.com full time. So that's been exciting and an interesting transition. But working a full time job and trying to run your own business, for me, it was finding those little moments of free time, whether it's at lunch, coming in early, or, like state holidays. Another thing, I worked a state government job, so I had lots of holidays. So I would view those as work days and kind of plan projects around those days, that I knew I could have a dedicated full day to do some things. Yeah, but it's a balance. It's just finding when you can work on it. Not to take away from family time as well. I was also, at the same time, we had a family, we had a daughter, kind of, growing up through all of that. So, you had to find that balance. I was very fortunate to be in a job that was flexible. So I was able to, have a somewhat flexible schedule to be able to go see my daughter in all of her activities, as well as being able to take time off to travel to powwows and things like that. So it was a great place for me to be able to build that business, and they were supportive in letting me do some things. But yeah, it's tough. Doing that is difficult, and you have to kind of plot your course and pick your moments. And it the other thing I struggled with, thinking about it, it was talk, it's trying not to chase the shiny thing or the new thing. When you have limited time, you really have to focus in on what are your priorities and what are the tasks that are most important to your business, and focus on those first.
Oh, you have a successful online community.
Yeah.
How did you get there? What are strategies that you employed to get to where you are? And I also know that aside the strategies, how did you develop the mind shift?
Over time. And that's one of the things that, when I'm working with clients now, and helping them grow their community, that's where I start, is that, going back to what I said earlier, it's community first, right? And if you have that community first mindset, then as we build content, then we're thinking that first. So one of those mind shifts I had, this was probably 6 or 7 years ago. I did an online course, and did the paid the extra to have the one-on-one coaching. And while I did a really good job of building community with some of the things we were doing on our website, I was not doing a good job with email. And the coach at the time really helped me figure out that mind shift change, and think about community. You can use email as a community tool, and that's kind of one of the things I'm known for now, is doing some really cool things with email and engaging people. And so that's the first thing. Once you know who your people are and you start serving them, then you have to talk to them as yourself, right? You try not to be a brand, try not to be a different persona. In my emails, I was working on one right before this call, and I'm writing in my email personal stories and telling them, maybe not going into too much detail, right? But giving them a general sense of, hey, here's what I have going on, and asking them questions, and and establishing that one-on-one communication, which is another thing I tell people in this community first mindset. It's one-on-one conversations. People want to think community is, I'm talking to 100 people, 1,000 people, or 1,000,000 people. Maybe, but if you can't establish the one-on-one connection, then it doesn't matter how many people follow you, they're not going to feel connected to you. So yeah, just writing and talking in a one-on-one conversation first.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I like us to talk about how we can build engaged community. Now, I emphasize engaged community. Now, that's very challenging because really it takes a lot of effort. Or is this something that happen overnight?
No, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time to build community, uh, and you have to keep trying. And so many people are chasing those metrics now, and they want they want to be the next TikTok sensation and have 1 million followers or whatever. Okay, sure. But again, I think it's important that you establish those one-on-one connections. Even if you have 5 followers on your Facebook page or your TikTok or YouTube, whatever it is, it's still 5 people that want to hear from you. So you have to work that conversation, those connections with those 5 people. That matters, right? You have to serve the people that are in your community, and it will grow, but it does take time. But if you establish a good way of communicating, you are serving their needs, you're delivering content that they want to have, then it will happen over time. For example, here's one, kind of get into more specifics. With email marketing, so many people want to start with, hey, my weekly newsletter is going to be this. And I tell people to shift away from that. Let's figure out again what our audience wants, and can we build a more specific series of emails. So for example, if you're a travel blogger, then let's, instead of trying to worry about what we're going to send every week to everybody on our list, let's figure out, can we send a series of 5 emails to the people on our list that are really, really into cruising? And let's deliver some content that they really want and that will help them serve their need in going on cruises. And if we can engage that subset of our entire audience in a real way, they're going to stay subscribed. They're going to open the content more. They're going to reply to you. They're going to be super engaged fans and follow you, as opposed to just throwing a whole bunch of stuff at them every week that may or may not apply. So that's one example, is you really got to figure out what it is, who they are, and then deliver content that serves them.
Now, talking about following, people talk about growing one's following. I really wanted to know what's the feels about, growing and following. And also, we put a business out there, or we put our brand out there. We've got a lot of engaged communities. Are we making the money? Or what's the whole essence of, building an engaged community at the end of the day?
There's a book I really like that I think is applicable to this question. Excuse me. And that's now I just forgot his name. The book is called Jab Jab Punch, and it is Gary Vaynerchuk. Thank you. Whew, that took a minute. It You can't start by figuring out, how to monetize your community. That can't be your driving focus. You have to figure out deliver value, serve them, serve them, serve them. And then after you establish trust, after you establish a following and they're engaged, then they're going to be likely to buy. Trying to build a community and having 1,000 followers, and all you do is trying to sell to them, they're not going to feel that connection. They're not going to feel that trust with you, and all of your efforts to try to sell to them are going to fall flat. You have to deliver value, establish that trust, then they're going to be more likely to sell. And then selling isn't necessarily some kind of marketing effort, and it just becomes organic. It's more of, hey, by the way, I have this thing over here and I think you're going to like it. They're going to feel like it's something that you've added and built for them, as opposed to a used car kind of salesy thing. It's not going to feel salesy. It's going to feel more organic.
I put it in another way. And now, do you think that every organization need to build an online community? Because really, there's some business out there who don't really fancy that.
I think pretty much every business can establish some type of community, but you have to figure out who that audience is. And so, if we think about a large corporation like Amazon, can Amazon establish a community type feeling online? Maybe, but probably not for Amazon as a whole. Maybe if you're a big corporation like that, maybe you want to again niche down, figure out more specific categories of your business that you could build a community around. So maybe we build a community around people who like history books, right? And maybe we build a book club about history, American history, or whatever it is. So I think there is ways to do that, but I go back to the community first mindset. Let's figure out who your audience is. Can we figure out a small subset of them and then serve them with some type of community building?
All right. No, talking about, I'd like us to talk about giveaways. It's one
Yeah.
of yes, that's such an interesting line for me. So, how does a person use giveaways to grow their business? Now we're talking about, not just not trying to have a monetization mindset from the outset, but now we also talk about, using giveaways to grow one's business.
So I use giveaways every month. We do one. We're getting ready to start our biggest one of the year, which lasts about 2.5 months. And I look at here's where I find giveaways are valuable for my existing followers, audience, whatever. It's a great way for me to engage with them, reward them for being part of our community and following us, and also showing them and highlighting new content that they may have missed. And I'll talk about how I do that in a second. For people who are outside of our ecosystem, it is a great way to reach new people because the giveaways get shared and they may see it on social media or some other place, and you can attract them with really great prizes. So the first thing I recommend people do if they want to try online giveaways is one, have a prize that resonates with your audience. For me in powwows.com, we partner with a lot of native companies to provide products that are made by native artists and that will resonate with our audience. Don't try to give away like iPads or iPhones or things like that because everybody in the world wants one of those, right? You're not necessarily going to appeal to your audience. So like when I post a picture of a nice Native American blanket, my audience is going to see that, and people even outside my audience that may want to follow us, they're going to see it and know immediately, oh, I know what that is. Yes, I want one of those. So that's a great way to bring people in. Once they're into the giveaway, I use software that then gives them other ways they can earn entries. So our giveaways are random draws. And once you enter the contest, your name is entered once, but then you can complete other tasks to gain extra entries into that giveaway. So that's where I can engage my existing audience, but also kind of onboard my new audience by highlighting content that both of these audiences may not have seen. So I'll give them a list of web pages to visit. I even do some things where I hide things around our website and they can go find these codes and get extra entries into the contest. On our live videos, I do some things that then they can use to enter their giveaways. So it's a really cool way to build that engagement for new people and existing followers.
Paul, now that's very strategic. Thanks for that. Thank
Yeah.
you once again, Paul. Sure, it is. Do you have any exciting news that you think is very important for you to share on this platform to my audience? You think it's going to be beneficial to them in the long run? You can do that now.
Okay. I mean, if you're interested in doing online giveaways, I do have a course about that over at paulgowder.com. I'm working on some more content around community and email marketing, and really want to help people level up their business by using those tools. So yeah, you can visit paulgowder.com to find out about that. Really exciting that if you haven't seen the news, YouTube is getting ready to roll out some community features. So again, I think it's really important that as more social networks give you tools to engage your community, you have to back up and let's think about who our community is and then figure out how you use those tools. Don't just jump in and start using those tools without going through kind of figuring out these first steps before you start just throwing things out at your followers.
All right, Paul, that's good to know. Wish you best of luck in this project, Paul, and in all the subsequent ones that you embark upon. I would like
Thank
to
you.
give a follow or a like on your social media pages. Can you share that with my audience and also your website?
Yeah. Well, I do want to say if you're interested in Native American powwows, powwows are open to the public and they are hosted around North America, US, and Canada. There's one happening in all 50 states and most Canadian provinces. So if you want to attend one, you can head over to powwows.com/powwow 101, and I'll take you through the process of finding one near you, but also giving you some information on what to expect at your first powwow. So I'd love to see you over there, and hopefully you can find a way to explore and experience Native American culture. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever, and you're looking to level up your business, please come over to paulgowder.com. I'd love to help you and talk with you. You can schedule a free discovery call and we can figure out if I'm the right fit for your business. If not, I'll even point you to some other places that maybe you can get help, but I'd love to help you level up your business.
Great. Thank you once again, Paul Gowder. You are
Thank
the
you.
owner and founder of PaulWars.com. That's a leading online community celebrating Native American arts and culture. Thank you once again for sharing your expertise and your experience on the show, talking about how we can build successful online community. Thanks for all the strategies that you provided. Wish you best of luck once again, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, it's Omobola Stephen. Now, if you'd like to catch up with any missed episodes, you can do so on any cost promotion platforms or any podcast distribution platforms to bump into online, and do have a great time. I talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode.